Welcome to RankLens. Today we count down the top 10 greatest cover songs by rock and metal bands. Some cover songs don't just follow the blueprint, they rewrite it. They take the original and completely reinvent it, transforming its DNA into something entirely new, yet somehow honoring what came before. Today, we're counting down the 10 greatest cover songs by rock and metal bands. The recordings that didn't just play it safe, but dared to reimagine the classics in ways their original artists never expected. From industrial metal deconstructing synth pop to folk legends meeting psychedelic distortion, these 10 covers didn't just respect the originals, they eclipsed them. We're counting down from number 10 all the way to the number 1 greatest rock and metal cover ever recorded. Ready? Let's get ranked. At number 10, Fear Factory's Cars, a brutal reinvention of Gary Numan's 1979 synth-pop classic. Numan's original was something special. It hit number 1 in the UK and defined the cold, robotic aesthetic of synth-pop in its era. But Fear Factory understood something crucial. That mechanical alienation at synth-pop's heart was just waiting to be amplified. When they recorded their version for their 1998 album, Obsolete, they rebuilt Numan's electronic landscape into full-throttle industrial metal. Those robotic synths didn't disappear. They collided headfirst with crushing metal guitars and heavy percussion. The result? A track that introduced Numan's song to an entirely new metal fanbase, becoming a rock radio staple overnight. The cover honored Numan's original vision, while dragging it straight into the industrial wasteland. At number 9, Marilyn Manson's Sweet Dreams Are Made of This, a twisted reinvention of Eurythmics' 1983 synth-pop monster. Eurythmics hit number 1 in the United States, and their original carries an ambivalent menace, something sinister lurking beneath that cold, beautiful synth production. Manson looked at that menace and asked, "What if we made it worse?" His version slowed the tempo, letting it crawl instead of glide, and wrapped it in layers of distorted industrial metal guitar that sounds like machinery grinding to a halt. That unsettling quality from the original is still there, but now it's backed by industrial nightmares. This cover became Manson's breakthrough hit, the recording that established his shock rock aesthetic with mainstream audiences and proved that sometimes reinvention means taking something beautiful and letting it rot from the inside out. At number 8, Jeff Buckley's Hallelujah, an alt-rock landmark that so completely eclipsed its original that Leonard Cohen's own version now feels like the cover. Cohen wrote this sparse, philosophical folk masterpiece for his 1984 album, Various Positions. It's a stunning work, intimate, mysterious, blending faith, doubt, and desire into something almost sacred. But in 1994, Buckley took his debut album, Grace, and included his own interpretation. Here's the thing, Buckley didn't model his arrangement on Cohen's studio original. Instead, he built it on John Cale's interpretation, a choice that transformed the song into something soaring and devastating. The arrangement became so definitive, so emotionally complex, that it overshadowed Cohen's original and became the version the world now knows. This isn't just a great cover, it's a complete transcendence. At number 7, Devo's I Can't Get No Satisfaction, the Rolling Stones' blues rock anthem, deconstructed into jerky, mechanical new wave. The Stones released their original in 1965 as a raw, sexually charged blues rock statement, pure rebellion channeled through a simple riff that changed rock forever. But Devo understood something the Stones knew, and Devo weaponized, that frustration and alienation could be expressed mechanically. Their 1977 version replaced that organic blues guitar with choppy, staccato rhythms, and vocals that sound like they're being processed through a machine. The rebellious anger isn't erased, it's encoded into the very machinery. This cover embodied Devo's entire philosophy, The de-evolution concept. The idea that technology is stripping human expression down into robotic repetition. By turning satisfaction into mechanical alienation, they showed that the original's rage could survive, transformed, and refracted through our relationship with machines. At number 6, Johnny Cash's Hurt. An aging country legend, remaking Nine Inch Nails' industrial rock masterpiece into something far more devastating. Trent Reznor wrote Hurt for Nine Inch Nails' 1994 album, The Downward Spiral, a brutal meditation on self-destruction. It's raw, visceral, dark in a way that few rock songs dare to be. But in 2002, just 1 year before his death in 2003, Cash recorded his own version. What happened next was something neither Reznor nor anyone expected. The industrial rage became aged country gospel. The self-destruction Reznor articulated through electronic distortion became something quieter but infinitely more heartbreaking. The reflection of a man at the end of his life, recognizing the weight of what he'd done. Reznor later said it best, that song is no longer his, it's Johnny Cash's now. This cover didn't just reimagine the original, it claimed it completely. At number 5, Judas Priest's Diamonds and Rust. Joan Baez's intimate folk ballad forged into polished heavy metal. Baez wrote the original in 1975 as a deeply personal folk ballad, a song about a past relationship and all the complicated emotions it carries. Her version is tender and introspective, built on acoustic guitar and her unmistakable voice. When Judas Priest recorded it for their 1977 album Sin After Sin, they made a radical choice. They swapped that acoustic tenderness for twin electric guitar riffs, turning folk intimacy into heavy metal spectacle. But here's what's remarkable. Baez's sharp wit and aching longing survived the transformation completely intact. The song became a Judas Priest concert staple, eventually captured on their live album Unleashed in the East, proving that the greatest reinventions are the ones that prove the original's emotional core transcends any single arrangement. At number 4, Typo Negative's Summer Breeze, a gothic doom metal inversion of Seals and Crofts' sunny soft rock anthem. Seals and Crofts released Summer Breeze in 1972 as a gentle folk pop hit, easy listening perfection, all sunshine and pastoral imagery. It's the kind of song that sounds like it was written for a beach sunset. But Typo Negative did something audacious. They took that dreamy languor and stretched it into over 12 minutes of crawling gothic doom. Peter Steele's impossibly deep bass vocals transformed the pastoral lyric into something sinister, something menacing. That sunny summer breeze became the breeze before a storm. The original's dreamy quality survived the transformation. That's the genius. But inverted, perverted, made to feel haunting instead of heavenly. This cover proves that reinvention doesn't mean destroying the original's essence. Sometimes it means inverting it, darkening it, revealing the shadows that were always there. At number 3, Rage Against the Machine's The Ghost of Tom Joad. Bruce Springsteen's acoustic folk fury detonated into rap metal. Springsteen wrote the original as a quiet acoustic meditation, inspired by Steinbeck's The Grapes of Wrath, a statement about migrant labor and survival during America's Depression. His version whispers its protest, relying on the power of words and acoustic resonance to move listeners. But Rage Against the Machine understood that the message could survive amplification. Their version replaced that acoustic folk guitar with heavy distortion and Tom Morello's scorching riffs. Zach De La Rocha's rapid-fire rap vocals didn't betray Springsteen's social protest. They amplified it, making it urgent, making it undeniable. This cover appeared on RATM's 2000 all-covers album Renegades, their only all-covers record. and it stands as proof that the greatest reinventions are the ones that honor a song's message while completely transforming its delivery. At number 2, Disturbed's The Sound of Silence. Simon and Garfunkel's gentlefolk duo reconstructed as massive orchestral hard rock. Simon and Garfunkel released the original in 1964 on their debut album, and it became one of the defining songs of the folk rock era. Their version whispers about alienation and disconnection, the quiet despair of modern loneliness. The song's genius lies in its restraint. The beauty is in what's not said. But Disturbed asked, what if that alienation was amplified without losing the melancholy? Their 2015 version pairs David Dryman's rich baritone voice with a full orchestral arrangement, strings, horns, percussion, all building a wall of sound. The quiet alienation becomes towering isolation. This cover topped rock charts and reintroduced the song to millions of new listeners, proving that sometimes reinvention means respecting the original's emotional core while scaling it to cathedral-like proportions. At number 1, Jimi Hendrix's All Along the Watchtower, the cover that so completely defined a song that its original artist deferred to it as definitive. Bob Dylan released the sparse folk original in 1967, a cryptic, mysterious ballad with lyrics that have been interpreted 1,000 different ways since. It's a folk masterpiece, intimate, poetic, layered with questions and spiritual yearning. But Hendrix looked at Dylan's sparse arrangement and heard something different. Months after Dylan's release, Hendrix recorded his electric psychedelic reimagining. He added layered electric slide guitar that sounds like it's crying. He restructured the chord arrangement entirely, building tension and release with a precision Dylan's acoustic version never attempted. And then, the ultimate validation. Dylan himself later declared Hendrix's recording the song's definitive interpretation. When the original artist concedes the crown to the cover, you know you're witnessing something transcendent. This is the #1 greatest rock and metal cover ever recorded. These 10 covers reveal something profound about how great music works. The greatest covers aren't the ones that play it safe. They're the ones that understand that honoring an original doesn't mean copying it. It means finding the emotional truth at the song's core and asking, what else can this song become? What these reinventions prove is that a song's power isn't locked into its original arrangement. A folk ballad can survive distortion. A synth-pop hook can sustain industrial heaviness. A quiet meditation can become orchestral thunder. The greatest covers are acts of creative courage. They say, I hear what you made, and I see something more. And sometimes, like with Johnny Cash and Jimi Hendrix, they create something so powerful that the world decides, this version is the one we'll remember. And that's the top 10 greatest cover songs by rock and metal bands. If you enjoyed this countdown, subscribe to RankLens for more.